A very warm welcome to everybody. Those of whom we don't sign on early, I really appreciate this. But why would they get excited by the music? I just want to make one or two quick announcements. Of course, the guest we will get today, we don't announce her already, so we all know who that we for they speak to in a few minutes' time. The application we will use to speak to this guest, because we not only want the voice, we also want the video. So we want both video and audio of the man we want to talk to. So we get them on online in about 10 minutes time, approximately 10 minutes time. It might be less, but we will get time in about 10 minutes time. But when we get them, what I want believing is we switch here from the application we open now to another application, so that we go able to get them A on video, B on audio. So not only audio. So this is just a warm-up session while we wait for them. And I promise again that in about 6 minutes time, at most 10 minutes time, so about 10 minutes from now or less, we go don't get them. So in the meantime, we'll not forget, say, there is a likelihood that we'll get for switch gear from this application what they use now to another application, so that we go here and see. The more way they talk, we'll go see them. Yeah? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to some real music. And Fambule making, dear, I will not forget, there is a link already. When are the link now will get for use, now that application they will get for use. So if you now look at the clipboard now on a clipboard, you not forget, please, when I click on that link there, it will take you directly to the application where we supposed for use for this particular broadcast. This is quite important because we're going to be talking about economics, you know, and economics involve a couple of variables: A, GDP, fiscal, monetary, and the rest of it. And una all know say we're going to talk to Jesmed, where they come online soon. So for can't tell we much about economics and financial issues, and especially at this critical time in our country. So una not forget about the clipboard, una look there, the link una see, una click on that link, it will take una directly usai we and Jesmed supposed for do the talking. Let me get back to some 1960s, 1970s. And listen, just for warm up the gun, if you na 25-year-old, you're not going to understand this music. Like my friend Yusuf Kooma, you're not going to understand this music. Gadula. This na then days will be like Berek battery. What would I did and send me for go buy battery in a shop, then call them Berek and Ever Ready. The only song then we be done them battery the day. Now then kind of song they are because the guitar alone and the overtime. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting a bit worried now because I mean, get word from Mr. Jesmed that at least we will get you know, yeah, like 5 past Eastern time, done at 6:05 GMT time, 23:05, and then me extend them by 5 more minutes, so by 23:10 if I don't sit comfortably. But we know say anything can happen on the way because they not been there home and probably they come up from work, come out drag or whatever. But up till now I not get on it. So what I need for do, I think say I need for column because when I know say yaso na then and now yuki business not in a straightforward business now we they do na yaso. So when they call or do things behind the scene, we they do them right in front because these are the people in channel who say fake news is dead and real news is here. So let we see maybe Mr. Jesmed just they get inside your own technical problem. Lawyer reform quickly. Luckily they online. Let we see what you go on. Let me see what you go on. Yes, sir, Mr. Suma.
Yes, sir.
How you do?
bad. I did on the way to go home and actually get for go back now work after the interview.
Right.
Because I realized, yes, I get some stuff the way I'm not done. But
by the way, you did live. I mean, your voice did live, so just lie inform you, so you be careful what you say. Yeah, go on, sir.
Well, if we can do audio, that would be better for me because I'm rushing from work just so that I go there home and do the interview and go back to work. You know what I mean?
So how soon you reckon? How soon you reckon? Say you go there home? Because I've been anticipating 23:05 or 6:05 Eastern time, but give me people in 6:10 and everybody then at the forum now they wait, and then.
No, I go there in 5 minutes. I go there home in 5 minutes.
You go there home in 5 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, let me give people in 5 minutes. Then they hear exactly what we talk. I sure say people and get patient enough because they want to listen to serious issues bordering on economic and finance. So I guess they will be patient.
I will continue the discussion as I drive until I reach home. They will pause them a little bit just so we can keep them engaged.
It makes absolute sense. Now the forum what they use right now, so like just ask me people whether they get you loud and clear, and as long as they get you loud and clear, I'm very much happy to do that. So fambulem now the chat room. I get the man we're supposed to appear at the forum today. He's already on his way to the studio for let he answer to the call of Una. But at the same time, we dip and talk, and like I say, nothing is hidden here, so we talk live. So can I have a thumbs up, please, if una the whole, I mean the Mr. Jesmed Suma, if una the area and clearly, can somebody give me a thumbs up, please? I need a thumbs up if una the area the man clearly. Let me keep the talk, sir. Let's see whether I will get a response.
Okay.
Yeah. Fambula, just they ask, can you hear Mr. Jesmed Suma the talk? If
yeah,
not the
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
If you can hear me, then we can just go ahead with the discussion right away.
So I'm waiting on you guys. If you not hear it, now the man himself just talk just now. If okay, yes, yeah. I got thumbs up. I got thumbs up. So definitely people in the hear you. So definitely we can commence. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I'm really excited that we get off the soil. Obviously, there will be fun and work out that way it, but there's nothing impossible. It's not life. This is not the nature of life. We're going to go straight into the issues we want to begin for discuss. But just before I say, I just want to let una know say we get none other. I don't need boku introduction because this is a man we're well known at the platforms, the annals of social media and regular media, or what you will call you know here like mainstream media. They don't talk here and there on many issues bordering on very serious and significant issues of our time. Fambule, we get Mr. Jesmed Suma. When you talk about banking, about economics, about finance, about policies, I think say know a thing or two. And those of you who know him already know exactly what they talk about. But those of you who don't know him, I will give the man himself the opportunity for let talk a little bit about himself, and especially in political life, because this not today no more. Go back sometime then. Mr. Jesmed Suma, welcome to the program, sir. And Fambule, why are you waiting for tell them?
Well, Fambulem, I tell you, I thank you for when I come for can listen to the discussion. Mina Jesmed Foday Mami Suma. My apologies that I'm not able for be in front of a computer at the moment because it's an interview I can't hold in the office, so I get for rush come from work, Ghana house able for do them. But in any case, Mina man we don't. They involved in salon issues them in general, not necessarily in politics. And but when it comes to the issue of salon, I always get myself involved and I always get a say. And this started as way back in my childhood days, during the time where I've been there at Albert Academy High School. From there, I work with Eric James. We established the social awareness and development movement. we be the advocate for democracy in our salon. And most importantly, during the NPRC term, where everybody been afraid for go out and challenge the status quo and talk and speak about the importance of voting, where the NPRC in surrogate winner Hilton Fire, they launch a campaign where they say peace before elections, because they don't want to let the election go on. Maybe they lead an organization called the Social Awareness and Development Movement. We've been the tear up the regions. We'll go Bo Kennyman at the first 10 now and day. May ever visit inside the day. You know, we go get a youth them. That some get at the areas there would educate them about the importance. I think one guy will be there with more than call anyway. I don't forget any name.
No worries, we'll come to that. Yeah.
Yeah, but in any case, but what make Grande very important is because that during that 10-day way, people like we volunteer for NEC, we are in the call James Jonah, because James Jonah didn't get an interview about a week or 2 weeks before the elections. Now he talks in challenges in terms of personnel and the funding able enough for cover cost, especially at the runoff. But that time volunteer like a couple of months before then about the issues of INEC. But in any case, during the runoff, then we understand say one of the what you call them, one of the professors in Nigeria, Professor Commander, been there as a mold for the NPRC. So he not be able to distribute in ballots them. So unfortunately, they not be able to then decide for firearm immediately. During that heightened situation, INEC not being ready to get somebody who for stepping. Now Dr. Fadluddin called me because we not volunteer for NEC at that day. Now I step in, I become a coordinator for 120. I've been get over 50 to 100 polling stations under my control. We will be continuing with that election. They will do a mother bill the CISO. They pass a law, a curfew. They say by 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, everybody for go inside house. That time we don't deploy the fire. Stand and some ballot boxes them again. We don't them along with mother bill. Don't say that curfew, she don't pass 9 o'clock. Now I tell the driver what they do for me. Just beam the light panel so German I meet Kandong. I go meet Turkey. I talk to the Sojaman and I say, you know what, me now an official of the United Nations. I the work collect them ballot boxes here. Why they talk to you so right now? You see that light they beam? Right now they see you, they see me, and also while they talk inside Turkey, they go to United Nations. That's okay when I go quick. Because that could have been the end of my life. You got to disrupt the election. Now we succeed with boxes. So all the rigging will take place inside NEC. Some of we know what time. We end up forgetting power against John Khalifa Smart. But not that besides the point. We can say now the US, you know, we also get involved in the building of Sierra Leone. Of course, we join other organizations that we then call Sierra Leone Network. So they challenge the AFRC government them. We're able for appeal to the say they're able to get ECOMOG for deploy troop or kick them out. From that they don't continue, don't be Alberta Academy Alumni Association then provide scholarship and able for get one going on, we get established the Scalone from the executive director of the Scalone Policy Watch, where they focus on policy issues.
Okay, Jesmed, if I can pause you there a little bit, because I be want to understand something about the PMDC because and I'm not sure whether before you organize this.
That is very important.
Absolutely.
That is very important.
No, exactly.
Belong to any political party. I don't want to belong to any political party when me form more than the national NPD national program. Being a member of the National Grand Coalition. I never APC, I never belong to SLPP, I never belong to PMDC. Now, with respect to PMDC institution for the National Progressive Democrat,
yep.
The guys who they call MOV.
Okay.
We don't see some schools the way we don't write about the challenges them how the third force go able them for win election. In the hope say the third force will be able for win election, but we don't even belong to any of the party. We only provide social media support. Now MOV see one of my article and be my friend. So maybe they go like say, look me man, the idea where they project so and they bring you coming to PMDC so that to be able for be part of the E-group. So we're able for project the idea and then see whether we will reform the PMDC. So are they part of the E-group? Will they project me ideas in terms of how to reform the party? I take a copy of my draft constitution, I share them to the members of the PMDC, then they go on for months with a debate the issue.
So the E-group, Mr. Jesmed, so the E-group, this is important. Here you go talk, you go continue. But the E-group wasn't not necessarily means that you're not a member of the party, even though you did inside and they project policies and directions for the party.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So when I realized the leadership not being interested in the kind of reform they want in the project, and then we get some folks in England, and of course we now be surrogate them for Charles Magai. They all turned down. Because the reform they mean the project now a very democratic internal structure of the party. We go create a better platform for people that we're able for project the ideas of the party and for succeeding in the leadership. But I don't be like that. So now I left the group. Now I challenged them. So I said, I think I will still remember one of the emails, the last email I sent. I said, for me the challenge, and I said, this particular constitution will transform into a political party someday. Now, 3 of them follow me. Some people in the way that the E-group, they then call me. The one guy we then call Raymond Bangura, where they Australia. I be a strong member at PMDC. Where you see that email, then I call me. So that now I send me constitution now. Send them out now, Leonet, send them out now other groups. They now they call people and now for them who come together for form a new political party. Again, I have never been a registered member or even a participating member of any political party.
Okay. Thanks for that clarification. And I think that's very loud and clear enough, because even up to the point of this interview, my understanding was that you were very much a member of the PMDC. So thanks again for the clarification. So what in metamorphose out of that constitutional thing, the way you've been all or you write out in terms of policy and direction became the PDC, or is it correct? It transformed to another party where you organize? NPD.
What be happy was that, yes, what be happy was that when I decided for the new party, the first constitution, I call it NDP, I send it in the out. Now, then Amadou Masali,
right.
I should say another one guy with them called Dr. Anwana, he did Ohio. He said in the constitution, we have the plan for forming a political party. He said, we let get rich on ourselves, rich let us get connect on ourselves. Now in the Andrew Weimer called me. No, he sent one in friend with them called Mr. Kabawe in New Jersey. Then called me now we all 3 guests begin get a press call or I say a conference call on the issue. That thing I don't send me on thing and on social media because I don't believe party constitution for be a secret document.
Right.
So because I know the binding document with somebody for read before you can become a member. And I send on our Facebook and other side them. Now one guy there where they England, where happened to be a criminal, we call him Wadi Williams.
Yeah.
He been get interested in some of the things that they discuss now Facebook. Now he reach out to Janet Mata Musa. Now he said, Janet, I want to get connection with this guy. Now Janet send me a message inside my inbox. She said, well, look, somebody the way they crazy for befriend you. Now I said, what are this guy? Now he said, I'm calling Wadi Williams. Now I said, really? Now I said, okay, no problem. I say, me I open to anybody who want to befriend me. Now I said, I go connect to now when I begin for buying. Now he send a link. Now me and Wadi Williams begin talk. Now I tell Wadi Williams the mission will be the on. Say I don't begin the process all team. I say, in fact, now I say, well, me to go salon soon. Now I say, well, if you go salon, do me one favor. Get me a copy of the PPRC political party registration guidelines. Now we are done that. I said I copy of my draft constitution. Now it's a wonderful, fabulous. You get any terminology they will use for this.
Yeah, okay. As a matter of just being inquisitive, you know, during all that process they will been go on. Why you be request of this you newfound friend will be the travel go salon for provide you with a copy or document from the PPRC?
Because PPRC not been get way for upload they not been upload all the stuff there on their website where possible for access easily.
Okay.
Maybe plan for travel in a month or two. So maybe
okay. We seem for the have again, you know, yes. So okay, you're back. Okay.
No. So
that's all
somebody
right.
called. We are just.
That's all right.
So now I ask him, but unfortunately, they cannot even bring the document he asked for.
Right. This is not the problem.
Don't bring the document. Yeah, you don't bring the document he asked for. So on the subsequent interview, on the subsequent conference calls, now I invite them. I say, let's join you at the conference call. Thank God I still get a recording of the first conference call where the Williams joined with.
Okay, Jesmed. I think say we get that part. So then you go on for form the NPD party. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what then became of the NPD party, sir?
Well, the NPD party, after Alex Kuroma realized I was the one behind the NPD party, I tried my best for I go conceal myself for them at the background. Now I go meet one guy with them called Almami Sila, we be not work for the we be not work for Amnesty International, we be work also for one organization in Washington DC. Now I go tell him, I say, well, I want him to become the count. He didn't tell me say they retire, they go back in a salon. Now as I say, I want dear Almami, I want let you go become the executive director, the country director for Sierra Leone Policy Watch, where you go salon. So me I get breakfast, I travel go Maryland, me I get breakfast. Now he tell me say, well, what you want to do now? As I say, because I focus on establish a new political party. Now he tell me, say, Jesmed, he say, well, you see a man way, I respect your views, I don't see what the project for salon. Me say, I want to go salon, I want to go get involved in politics. So if you form a new party, I'm ready for them with you. Now as I say, that means the SLPW go there at the side force. I say, well, this is a blessing in disguise. Because forget Malek, you will get the experience one also you get in politics, was in electoral system. I said, I bless in this guy. I was so happy that he did. Now I bring Almami come. That time we don't bring what the Williams and come, we'll build the party. So maybe at the backup, I suggest that Almami become the interim chairman. Now we agree, Almami will be the chairman. Susan Williams will the Williams become. Now we say Susan Williams will be the secretary general. Then we let Dr. Andrew Weimer become the treasurer. Me go there at the backup for the provide strategy.
So again, sir, una organize una party, but there seems to be a contradiction here if I get you well, because at some point during the beginning of we conversation, it's like you sound like the guy who is very open, who believes in accountability and transparency. When you talk about the constitution, somebody they try for say, well, Lord, keep this thing hidden in the meantime, but you know, see, and so that the constitution needs to be out there to the people. But then when it comes to some formative stage now of the party, you seem for one go in the background or underground and put somebody else or other people them ahead of the party. That doesn't bode well.
I will explain that one day.
Yeah, if you can do that quickly, please. Yeah, yes, please.
Yes. some of you have been know the massive demonstration will be take place now Washington, where they say concern Sierra Leone against an escoma for the Ebola money.
Right.
The largest demonstration in the history of Sierra Leone diasporans in America. Me have been part of the 5 people that we organize them. So I've been in for analyze say if me na an escoma, and I know say this guy capable for pulling that kind of crowd. If that person they get a political platform, if they on the ground, if they talk to the grassroots, it will be a threat to me.
Okay, this been just based on reasonable assumption that obviously if you pull that kind of crowd, the authority then definitely go look at you. Okay, let we move on.
Yes.
Just because I get
maybe one say when the party when the thing go down register done, then me can show face.
Okay, we get that, Mr. Suma. So correct me here, please, or just rectify something for me, because I seem for they get confused between JPAC and Salon Policy Watch. Are these 2 different organizations, or are they the same?
Okay, that's a good point. Now JPAC, not a registered organization at all.
Okay.
Now after the election, because I don't move out of the NPD, after an escroma plant a mole among we when Patrick Udwaya and APC been a sponsor, we can't take over the party. See the reason why they therefore show hide my face until if they reach a point where I'm supposed to not be able to hide my face again. I go salon, I begin challenging the status quo, and then plant Patrick Udwaya. Patrick Udwaya now become the mole for an escroma. Now through Patrick Udwaya now he been the try for now he able for bribe what the Williams and other people are now. For able for disrupt the thing that we the plan. Everything what they plan, Patrick, why they go tell the APC folks them. So all the strategy man they put together, Patrick, why they go tell the APC folks. So that they become a serious challenge. So that being therefore forced me to realize say since the ideology of the NPD party, even though I don't spend so much money, I don't spend so much resources, I don't spend so much time, I don't make so much sacrifices. If their ideologies then they is threatened by the forces from APC, and he sees he not get a position for achieving 1% chance of achieving that ideology. But there is another party called the NGC. They get the chances of achieving that ideology. So I shift me assess my position and my attention to NGC and throughout the election.
All right.
The guys the way they inside NPD. I want to come to the JPAC.
All right.
The guys the way they inside NPD. Because that means so much. They follow me. Then they say, well, Bralo form a group where they follow you. And that's how I lead to the WhatsApp group where they call JPAC.
Okay, I get.
Jesmed Suma Political Action Committee.
Okay, Mr. Suma. Okay. Oh, we get that, but that seems like a kind of checkered political, history in which you were there, and then at some point, you are there, and everything of this nature not seem for whole water up to this point, okay? Because I don't believe say.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Good question. Hang on. Okay. All of which you don't explain the formation because you give very sound reasons. Remember, say there are many variables, changes along the way. You formed the PDC party. Before the PDC, you've been in a PMDC of which you say you were never a member. But because of your position and your paper the way you write, being that they could be implemented or used inside that party, so you go inside, but no sooner you realize it, they were not up for no good, you move on and organize a NPD party. From the NPD party, you go on for organize, the Salon Policy Watch, which were all avenues, for make gains, in your opinion, into, the Sierra Leone political spectrum, if you like.
No, let me clarify that.
If you will quick.
The sequence.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Go on.
The
Yes.
Salon Policy Watch.
Yeah.
Salon Policy Watch is a completely unique, independent policy think tank. We're being governed by board of directors that they're all are PhD holders.
So when did you form that? When did that come to being?
That was long before. That was as early back in the 2010, before 2012.
And Naina, you be the executive director of?
Yes, Naina been the executive director.
And you don't left now, not so?
Huh?
You're no longer the executive director, of course. You're a former executive director.
Yeah, I'm a former executive director. But
Is this no, Jesmed? Yeah, slowly. Is this organization still in existence?
Yes, it's still in existence.
Okay, go ahead, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Now, the issue for forming the Sierra Leone Policy Watch was used as a platform of intellectuals who are not interested in politics. And I was one of those who are not interested in politics. We said if we put our intellectual minds together, provide resources for our government, any government, and if those governments mean well, they will now have the sense of direction to transform our economy.
Okay.
So we begin to write policies on education and other stuff there. But realize that will not solve the problem, just like how you will get NGOs, a non-governmental organization or donor agencies them for 1960 to now, don't pump billions of dollars into Sierra Leone, not solve problem. And they say we realize even policy ideas not solve problem because the people who would expect on let them go appreciate policy idea that they no go appreciate them. That make a shift from Sierra Leone Policy Watch into forming a political party.
Okay. I don't want to
form a political party. I don't want to form a political party. I want to use the ideas for reform an existing political party. But again, the same problem where they happen on national scale, now they happen within specific political parties, and NPMDC was one of them.
Okay.
I say, no, this is not going to work.
Okay, we get that, Mr. Suma. The only reason why I decide to go well into that is because having done, some background check, realizing, that this Mr. Jesmed Foday Mami Suma, very, very smart guy, very eloquent, able for, for sweep the ground, if you like, a famous saying where somebody clean enough or articulate themselves. And up till now, we're not happy. So I just decided for that a little bit into that. But I want to go into something more serious, which is something when I believe saying that you strength. But just before going into that, let's touch on one prediction, if I can call a prediction, where you make on the campaign trail. I believe, during the 2018 election cycle, whilst you were still an NGC member, which you've already admitted to, if Sierra Leoneans mistake, then vote SLPP or APC into power, you said literally that the country will be dead. Will you provide an insight? Yeah. I know. Yeah, I accept that because you did say that and you're accepting it, which is good. And I just want to ask you, for provide an insight into how you say why you say and whether you still stand on that position today as we speak, sir.
Yes, I stand on that position as I speak because I know the serious economic challenge on the face. And in a way, the candidate for those two political and link them to the fact that the infrastructure of the party are corrupt, they are not accountable, they're not transparent, they're not responsive to their members, they are morally and ethically corrupt. If them two political parties they produce anybody, I don't care whether Pope John Paul II Rome, as long as you emanate through the system we established within the peace and SLPP, you are a liability to the country. And today, we are seeing a direct manifestation of that prediction. The country, the economic stage of our country right now, people in the worry about the starvation within the face.
Which is exactly what I want to go to, Jesmed, which is exactly what I want to go to. You just lead me into the next question, which is Sierra Leone inside an economic crisis?
Yes, Sierra Leone inside an economic crisis, but guess what?
Please tell us.
The macroeconomic outlook of the country itself, in comparison with other African countries, when the projection of other African countries is said to be around 4% to 4.1 growth in their gross domestic product between 2019 to 2020, Sierra Leone's projection is between 5.6 to 5.8% between 2019 to 2020. So that is a very good projection, where a plus for the country, in the sense that then they look into the future say the iron ore production will begin for boom, the rutile and other industries then will begin for pick up just now, for move away from not only the Ebola hiccup and other electoral threats will be happen. Then they all have a factor, but there are threats to that. There are serious threats to that. And then threats they stem from the fact that the country is still facing what we call structural transformation and other microeconomic imbalances. Now, where they pose a substantial threats.
Jesmed, I know one broke you flow because I really want to understand this myself and including we audience. So just before you begin for widen the scope, based on the macroeconomic, what I believe say you still can talk about, but the same factors regarding macroeconomic. When they talk about the phase of business cycle and GDP, what do you talk a lot about, and the inflation rate, level of government debt, employment rate, long and short-term effect of trend, and probably changes and the measures. But I want to let you deal with 3 variables then for me, please, if you can, which are the gross domestic product, GDP, inflation rate, and the level of government debt, where I want, put into a circle, where I will also include the employment rate. You able to deal with, because it looks like, say, this is of serious consequence to the economy.
Yes. Now, domestic product. In fact, I want to clarify another important misunderstanding people in the make, because I don't see somebody on send 1 or 2 audios out. They talk about GDP. It makes statement that were completely wrong.
Yeah, please go ahead and clarify, because a lot of us can kind of box up this thing we will not understand.
Yes. Now, there is a difference between the gross domestic product and waiting the government they take for spend and running self. Waiting the government they take for spend for running self, now they present the parliament as a budget. I don't hear somebody they make say, hey, the GDP now the money this so the government they take for spend for running self. No. GDP now the monetary value of the goods and services where the country they produce, both by the private sector and the public sector, not to government own them, particularly the one at the private sector. The mining company, the mineral they extract, not to government own them. Where you go build the value of that one day, not to government own them. All them things and the factor, whether my man go take 100 bag gari, he can cancel and a market. The income where the net revenue they generate from that, now in get them, not to government get them. So now all them value they put together, and they constitute the gross domestic product. Then they measure in 3 ways. Then they measure by the income way. Based on the income way people in they accumulate, then they analyze the income way individuals and businesses they generate, now they constitute the gross domestic product. If they measure on the expenditure way, where you spend, somebody get for receive them. So the expenditure way is supposed to equal to income way. So the expenditure rate also they give you the same value based on certain adjustment the way they do. The third way, now by the actual production value of units of goods and services. So now then 3 ways and then they measure the gross domestic product, and each one gets certain adjustment for giving the same figure. Now they constitute the gross domestic product. Right. The gross domestic products, they define the country in the economic strength for produce. Now, out of that economic strength, now in governments they levy taxations and fees for collect money, where they say revenue for the government, where the governments they use for present now the House of Parliament say next year with a project say now so money will be able to generate as revenue from fees, taxation, and other ways them all will run with self. Now the threat what we face right now the fact that we don't run a deficit for many years. Now this SLPP government don't shoot the deficit of our GDP, our government budget deficit from somewhere around 6.8 to 7 something % of our GDP.
Right.
Almost 1 1 to 2 trillion loans addition. Then they don't add on the expenditure. So this government, they generate enough revenue compared to the last government, at least compared to 2017 and 2016. But the revenue generation, then they do well. But the expenditure aspect of them, they don't increase them. So the GDP deficit, the deficit of our budget expenditure, fiscal expenditure compared to our GDP, it don't increase.
So okay, hang on right there, Mr. Suma. This is not subject to I believe say you know well. And once you flow, you can just go. But when they try for explain to people we go the mass break like safu. We talk about expenditure and a critical thing now you talk about. So how we go able for rein in government, or how government go able for rein itself, like some kind of a discipline, so that waiting then together, then go able for live, basically within the means. Like we know, say you just say something just now, which is critical. This government they generates more revenue when you compare to 2016, 2017 fiscal year. But right now, you get too many ministries and too many ministers, too many employees. So you overspend again. How government for rein in and cut down this deficit where you talk about?
Great. That you a major example of the danger where the government they face right now. The entire government budget, the largest chunk of government budget is wages and labor, wages and salary, and other human resources related expenditure. 55% of our budget is on wages and salary. And yet the people are so poorly paid, you go begin to say, well, if we spend 55% of the government budget on wages and salary, how come the people are poorly paid? But this is the reason. I will explain that and let people listen carefully. The size of the government is bloated. They get agencies that way, they contribute to the development of the lives of our people. For instance, and any of them, some of the agencies and they let Kuruma be created. He make sure that he put in young family and people that are party members into their agencies and they take them outside the Civil Service Commission payment scale. It creates some kind of an expatriate payment scale. Some of them may get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month equivalent in loans. And some of them may pay them in dollars. So when this power government take over, you will expect, say, the power government will say, that will be not only a waste, that be a drain on the economy of the country. Then say we're able to change the system, reduce the size of government. No. Instead, they increase them. They split the Ministry of Education into two. They get two ministers for one Ministry of Education. United States of America, we are 100 times bigger than Saloon. Now one Secretary of State for Education and get and one deputy.
So Jesmed,
small as we are.
So Jesmed, this is what beggars believe, because I believe, say again, you did on record for defining policy as a policy analyst, that these are guidelines and principles which are meant to be followed by reason. If we know, or we know, I guess say somebody, they say we don't know. Because if we know, say, all the expenditure they would make, not necessarily we need for rein in for cut down the deficit. How come when government change hand, instead of we cut down on we expenditure, so we will realize what we make and live within we means, we continue, for fend ourselves in difficulties when a borrow, now we go borrow. So my question what I want to ask to you, Mr. Suma, how in this kind of economy, wahala we talk about, can we sincerely fix the economy? And I see the question is serious because I don't also do the same. But I don't believe say only limited to upright and the rest of it. It need more. Will you please explain to me and the viewers how we can do this?
The key element here is the institution that comes to the wheel of power. the institution is very crucial. If the institution is morally and ethically bankrupt, is intellectually bankrupt, is not patriotic, is comprised of people that are self-centered and selfish. I don't care what kind of magic you play. If that institution then take over power, the same mindset we then develop inside the institution, and that same mindset they go put into the wheel of power. When a two things normally dictates the decision-making process. The two things where they dictate the decision-making process, what do I need to do to continue to hold on to power, and what do I need to do to enrich myself? Those are the two things criteria and the driving force. So what thing I can do is, when they take over power, then they make the government now as an employment agency for their own party supporters. Now make it seem inside for punishment. If you na SLPP, even if you na SLPP, you get the brains, you get the wizard brain, like anybody else, like any Sierra Leonean, you still not qualify for become appointed person in any of the executive branches of government, unless you are known as a paupanista. All
right, Mr. Suma, problems. I want to let we talk about solutions, okay? Because I believe we all sort of have a little bit of understanding. Some people can get more understanding on the issue. But what are the solutions? Advise us today, because at some point, you've been saying this. So this audience today,
the ultimate solution is that we need to have the right political party elected in 2023. But for now, between now to 2023, this is what I would recommend. There are agencies of government that needs to be reduced. There are certain institutions that needs to be consolidated into one. And there are certain positions in government in which to reduce their wage bill. I can give you an example.
Yeah,
Mother Bill in Border. Mother Bill in Border, now project coordinator, now the agent, or whatever they call it. Equivalent of 3,500 every month. Put all infringement monthly allowances and salary together. $3,500. Plenty people where they are abroad. Some man know they make that kind of money there. If you get a country we get a financially strapped like that one day, you need for control expenditure in that area today. The other area where we stage today, you see that government cheaper than they give for fuel, that fuel allowance when they give the government workers them. Billions of loans are being wasted in that area. They need for curtail on that one day and able to really structure them. The third area, the government gives them. They need the government collect quickly on official purposes. Now then they do not Rwanda, and they do not Tanzania, and they do other African countries who will reform their economy. When you then give you job work na any business, like me where they work na company so, then they give me official motorcar. Then they pay me salary. If you want motorcar, they go buy. Maybe go pay me away for good this and that. Government who can understand they provide motorcar for you, fine. But let us there be a time when all the local motorcar and because the expenditure on wear and tear of those vehicles are a very big chunk of we government fiscal policy.
So just mention
the House of Parliament.
We come to the House of Parliament. I really want to let you talk about them because I want to ask you the same question regarding the House of Parliament, regarding all lengthening their way you don't talk because now they need for effect the law. But we get for talk about the independence of the three different branches of government. We involve Parliament, who that effect law, and the judiciary, and the rest of it. But you mentioned fiscal. I want to talk about fiscal and monetary. I need basic explanation for we people. So when we done this today, this branch of people where they listen to we don't get a grip of them thing there. This is what I'm trying to derive at. So please go back down.
Good.
Go down with fiscal and monetary, and then yes, please. Yeah, go on, Suma. I want to let you talk about fiscal and monetary. So we begin with fiscal. What is fiscal, and how it affect we as a people and government?
Yeah, they come. Then get what they call economic policy in general of a country.
Yeah.
The economic policy of a country is divided into two branches.
Right.
You get the fiscal policy, you get the monetary policy. The fiscal policy, now the responsibility of the Minister of Finance, it comprises of two major areas: revenue generation and government expenditure. In other words, how government generates revenue through fees, taxes, and fees for let people spend for running itself. That's the entire concept of fiscal policy has to do with revenue and expenditure. The two words that we go use for define fiscal policy is government revenue and government expenditure. Is that clear?
That's clear, yeah. That's clear.
The
Monetary?
next one, the monetary policy.
Yeah.
The monetary policy, that the central bank, the governor of central bank, that is supposed for the regulate that one day. Now, that central bank is supposed to be independent of the government own micromanaging. It's supposed to be independent because the central bank is supposed to be when they get flow of money in and out of the economy through changes within the policies, the way they implement, where they influence inflation rate, they influence unemployment rate, they influence other factors than within the economy. Now, but there are areas then where both fiscal policy and monetary policies then the need for harmonize then two policies then so that then we're able to achieve the common goal of creating economic growth in the country. Now, in the harmonization of both the fiscal policy and the monetary policies are the two institutions are supposed to be independent. Now, that side the entire economy as a whole. Now, if Fulawala will delve into each one, into nitty-gritty of each of the two policies, I will go into the one day too.
Yeah, time no go really permit me to. I will go for do this another day because we really need forget, just like how you say, to the nitty-gritty of it. Because in the conversations out there, you know, you're a highly social individual. I find out, the intake of people, the knowledge of people regarding their issue there, the nitty-gritty of it, is just not there. And that also they help for cause some of the friction that we would see in the public space. So first of all, education is really needed in terms of all lengthening. And I make ask you the question. We audience now, then sadly enough, don't catch that particular point the way you try for say. But you say the bank governor supposed to be independent, which in fact, in some sense of the language we use, the bank governor is in fact not independent. Is that the case?
Yes, he is not independent.
So once the bank governor not independent, what are the consequences? What are the ramifications?
The ramification are such that the bank governor, because he did dance to the beck and call of the government, it have a very strong impact on so many areas of our economy. For instance, with debt ratio, the increase. According to the very bank governor right now, for every $100 we will generate through export, we will go for towards $8 for finance with debt.
Right.
Now, with debt ratio don't increase from 2018 to 2019, that they're at a situation right now, over 60% of we gross domestic product. I know I try to be conservative. I know it's over 80% actually, but I know I'm for be too whatever. They try to be conservative. I want to be realistic because I know I'm waiting for watch the 2019. For 2018, 2019, it was over 68% of our gross domestic product. We gross domestic product now between $3.7 to $4 billion. with debt, it's over $3 billion. When the Paupanista then come to power now, it don't go over $4 billion. If you add the kind debt, the debt we signed it day before yesterday with the World Bank, if you add that one day plus the one day we then use for finance with deficit, it don't go over around $4 billion.
So that means ability for payback is almost like zero.
Exactly.
Goodness.
Exactly. We still for continue for end on outside for continue for sustainable budget. Now that make fiscal discipline is essential. Now that make we need for reduce we expenditure them, especially the wastages in the system of governance. But like not test they don't raise more revenue, not in the thing. If for last check say I don't reduce expenditure, non-productive sectors of the economy, what I call capital expenditure, are supposed for increase. But non-capital expenditure, they need for reduce the one day. Because capital expenditure, what to talk about capital expenditure, now expenditure in areas where we're able to create the ability for the nation to produce more. If government increases expenditure, then invest into the future. When you increase expenditure, they go to the talk about so the flyer they fly up and down. The per diem money they give themselves $400 to $500 a day. Eh? Where that papa na moyamba, that poor mami na Kailaun. That poor young man where they Bombali district. Then they struggle for afford a loaf of bread. Now we owe government officers and they fly tipata, then they pay themselves $400 to $500 a day.
Okay, Mr.
Pocket money.
Yeah, Mr. Suma. The Leones, of course, you touch on a little bit, but I just want for Leon seems for day in a fall. Okay, people and they listen keenly. These are issues which you don't touch on, but I say again for let you touch on the issue itself specifically. The Leones appear for day in a free fall. There was a time when it being 7.5, 8,000, 9,000. Now they talk about over 10,000, and it just happened like free fall. This is scary. What is going to what is going to happen next? What kind of dilemma will we be inside? Are we going to be able to sort this thing out because I interest rates cutting down this, cutting down that, but still, your government not able to this thing. What is going on, and are we going to be able to handle anything soon or so no more?
Na a subject where I go once we'll get 1 hour discussion on the issue of monetary and fiscal policy. Okay. We're all included in this issue of inflation.
No worries at all. I really want to let you touch on this, and there are so many things that I want to let you touch on, because this is really, really important. This is significant, at this particular time now in the country. I believe they will not lay the blame, on the doorstep of one particular person or a particular government, because this business not start yesterday. A big time, over a period of time. Yeah.
And inherits the most terrible economic challenge at the history of any government. Even Shaka Steve, one day face the kind of problem where this particular government here inherit. Seriously, that one day you can give it to them. They really inherit a bad economy. And when I talk about bad economy, people in the city but say that no, the bad economy now in terms of the areas them where finance mobilization, revenue, the expenditure, and then kind of how to control that one day.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy. And 1 year not enough for let them go do them. But the same way they make mistake, now because they not take the time for plan well before they even venture out and put and stuff them together. Because they're not be even believe say they will win election. So they win election at the time they begin for think out for plan. And because they get the paupanista mindset where you only become a member or a governor, If you know a minister or a minister of finance, if you know a minister, because part of the problem is because of the kind caliber of people who they put to run the economy. Now they are the team. Now, how you be able to address the issue of inflation, the exchange rate? The entire concept of exchange rate is basically supply and demand. Again, supply and demand. The higher the demand for foreign currency, the higher the price of the foreign currency. If you set up economic policy, monetary policy in this case, you must make sure you tailor around in the area of supply and demand for loans as against other foreign currencies. What does that mean? It means, say, if you get a situation where the economy is heavily dependent on imported goods, then obviously the demand for foreign currency for imported things will increase. Similarly, if the government expenditure, they continue to be high, and most of the expenditure we spend on to capital, where 55% of the annual budget they depend on wages and salary, that's a threat to the economy.
Right.
Now, if you are able to analyze them then obviously you cut down on the time way to give people them because I drain for foreign currency. Every time they travel, that money what they take for foreign currency for that will be off and sustain the demand for dollars. Now in government officials and they put that in their pockets for fly go. It pose a threat. Now the other area again where the central bank not get control over, and then we're able to get control over them if they want. Certain variables and they affect the way the policies, the way they implement, they affect the economy as a whole. When they implement a policy, it will take 60 to 90 days before it begin to get an effect. Now the kind of tool is through no say that particular shops approach na what you call them na cosmetic solution. You don't get a permanent solution because you talk say I get let's put it this way. You say I get 10 bag less. All man they come buy, but when they come buy, I not get enough for sell to them. So when they come, the price they go up no more, and that 10 bag less is at the dollar. Now, what sense you make if it's okay? Well, I can take the rest out at the auction and let all man kapu.
Yeah.
How can they go solve the thing?
Right.
The same amount of bag rest what you get, now you get. All you need to do is now for implement policies the way they use the demand. Implement policies the way they increase your dollar reserve.
All right.
Part of them, the
yeah.
macroeconomic policy changes the way it will take a long-term effect. But the short-term variables, now they refuse to undertake. And then short-term variables and they require sacrifices within government itself. That sacrifice then only Kumura government. Now you able for solve that thing because now bitter thing for swallow.
Right, but Jesmed, of course, we can make all the I don't want to call a noise, but from the outside, which makes a lot of sense. But being on the inside, I guess you go accept say it can be quite difficult. After all, we have the borrowing as a big condition as you will obviously feel the pinch when things happen, because when you look at the wider world, you see say there's economic crisis left, right, and center. The United States, Western capitals, then they go through the emotions them. So if not they would cancel, then definitely, and when they manage well, we definitely go get them problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I want to let you touch on GST, Jesmed, while we come almost towards the end of this interview, GST tax, because one thing where we understand from the ground as at this moment as we speak is foreign investment capital is not being attracted to the country at all. The reason the way the economic and finance business, they're saying that due to GST tax and other issues there. Do you have GST tax, is there any credence to this story? Say when this make the government they attract foreign direct investment to the country?
There is some half truth in that.
Okay.
Because the GST are goods and services tax or something around when it increase the cost of production. That's one aspect. Then it also increase the price of goods and services, because every tomatoes you buy, you get for pay GST tax. So if not consumer goods and services, GST affect the economy. It doesn't get any adverse effect on the economy. If they refer to consumables, consumption goods. Now, if they refer to capital goods, they call somebody import machine, they call somebody import trailer, they call somebody import when are the sacrifices then come, when they talk about policies. Now, then policy, then the policy where they determine almost and they pay, now fiscal policy that one day. Fiscal policy, then they determine almost custom duties and almost where they pay. Now, then they go get an impact on the economy if you combine that with monetary policy, so that when somebody bring machine come, you know, say this machine, I know can go and put you want to open poultry, you want to open factory. If they reduce custom duties and waive and fail, million economic policy, million recommendation, waive custom duty on all capital goods, reduce GST tax on all capital goods, and able for encourage people and bring capital goods into the country. And then you create an environment where they reduce the interest rate, and then you also able for provide access to loan, so that when people can invest, they don't need for use them dollars for pay salary. They go reserve them dollars for pay capital goods, for import capital goods or for produce. But for pay salary, they will take loan if they finance the slate. But there are certain economic policies, then they both monetary and fiscal policies, where the need for are consider, and that necessarily will require support from the external way name. Me, if you ask me, before we take loan, before we force on way name them and grant and stuff them there, then I can stop them there if you're supposed to discuss with our foreign partners where they influence and variable then they where they impact the investment and climate for the economy as well.
But yeah, but Jesmed, there will seem to be an imbalance there, because this is difficult. Like I say, it's easily said than done. For example, what would we talk about? Let we say we but we get half mine, we get I don't know we have 15 away we can send. But now other people and they can't determine the value of we goods, and then the markets there are open. So not to like say we get too much edge. We Bambai with the pin say this is what we want and this is the way we want to go. No, there are other nations like I understand. For example, the new government come to power and decide for withdraw most of the concession they would make to other organizations them and companies them. And the companies them, some of them decide for pull out because they don't agree with the concession them with and they pull away from them. They say they can go other side. In other words, they try for say there are offers in other places. So therefore we get for till we enter in the day long, we cannot say this is the way we want it and this is the way it's going to go.
Well, the area of the which you call them the primary products who they export, then again it comes with the type of leadership where we're able to create an environment so we add value to them in a day. Say the major source of government revenue, income tax. Income tax. Nobody, plenty. Not we go, not we diamond, not we bauxite.
Yeah.
Now income tax.
Yeah.
So which means if government able to find a way for create employment, increase the employment base, increase the income base, then the other guy like GST, now the second revenue, now GST, and now all anything and all has to do with mostly the private sector. if now income tax with government employees and they pay, then the government they pay itself. Then they don't get much impact per se. It just create circulation no more within the government. Government spend it, take them back. In other words, I give you salary 1 million, I take 200,000 loans for back. That is same government. The government will make money, and when private sector employ somebody, a lot of government spend. Private sector give somebody 5 million loans.
Yeah.
As loans, they give government.
So you say for broadening the tax base,
Yes, broadening the tax base. When you broaden the tax base, then you go even for reduce the tax rate.
Okay, Jesmed, can we compel, like manufacturing to be done power now the country? Is there a way that we can do and we can pin? What I mean by compel manufacturing, let's say for example, we get with iron ore, where there's so much in demand. Instead of would export the raw dirty or the ore itself, away, the way out and they go do them at the other country, then outside and they go. Why we can't do one at we country?
I will explain that to you. One is heavily capital intensive.
Right.
Heavily capital intensive. Two, now long-term investment. When you put $2 billion in that kind of investment, you never begin to make profit still like 10 years.
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, would I get a gut there for can put $2 billion in a saloon? Then wait for 5 to 10 years before you begin to make profit.
Right.
Then three, so the way where you go able to address them thing and they that make if now the NGC be not in a power, the way we for address a lot put them from that angle there, so people are able to get sense out of them. We they create a demand and strategy such that we mining policy, we custom duties, and other things, and they will be harmonized. The three countries, Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, they're the largest deposit of iron ore in the entire world. If we create a common policy, we say we iron ore with three countries, we know they give nobody. If you now prepare for put a factory in any of the three countries, I will not care whose country you choose. You choose one per three country, land you iron rod manufacturing plant today, then you will give access to mining policy. We mine rights to we iron ore mines. I swear to my living God, if you pass that policy within 3 to 4 months, you pick up ready because the market is not.
It boils down to the point again of easily said than done. I say it boils down to the point again of easily said and done. These are well thought out things, which you see there's a very productive end, to and there are reasons to be optimistic. But in that kind of cases, they are just like how you talk about broadening the horizon within the Mano River Union, involving 3 countries, Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. Geopolitics then come to play. Colonialist masters come to play. We've seen this time and time and again, where now the interest of
right.
Yeah, of course, this is what has plagued us until we and they say it's about this is us and one go forward as such, then it will be difficult to us. We've gone, far away, Jesmed, and thank you for this interview. Just get 1 or 2 more questions for you before I let you go. And this get for ladies and gentlemen, by the way, for those of you who just to join the forum, obviously there were high expectations because we expect to see a face to the voice. Unfortunately, because of some technical reasons, we could not have that done, but we've got an audio and it's authentic.
Well, actually, job commitment, not a technical reason, a job commitment.
Well, yeah, I do agree. I was just trying to water it down instead, to some, But thanks for that. It's not Jesmed Mami Foday Suma. We'll not be able for bring and come live or audio wise, but we get in audio. And of course, those of you who know in voice, no say authentically in the way they speak, and there's no reason for impersonate. And so far, it tried for broke down to we economics, figures, statistics, real. I see some, 1 or 2 things, in the chat room, which are quite interesting. I will go over them later. There is a comment, Foday and say you for try for bring the evidence regarding the flying trips, and somebody question something where you say regarding okay, they say you no they say you call the new government junta. Yeah, where I not recall whether you I don't think so you did as well. Yeah, I don't think so, because everybody know, every sound-headed person knows say there was a democratic elections. People can get their own view about them, but there was a democratic elections. There was a mandate by the people. They've got a 5-year parliament. Every level-head person know this. Yeah.
I call them power government because I'm proud of the name, and I call them
yeah, they do. Jesmed. So the side usa bring you come why would they come down, to this issue is do you ever see first of all, government go take loan again, and then we dip an austerity measure. They ask we, for remove subsidy pan things like petrol, we kind of affect with people. And one moment they pull up, and it like say there was people, the government not be really concerned about the people rather than waiting the IMF been there for offer them. So they say they go pull the subsidy and the rest. I want to let you touch on that because you understand exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, on the issue of the subsidy, me are one of the people away being sent audios there out and given a prediction, a prediction of exactly the consequences if was lifting that subsidy. Because the subsidy, then they talk say our government is spend so much billion for subsidize fuel and whatever, but waiting and fail for realize now the impact of that lifting of that subsidy day on the lives of our people. The average mami where they go sell tomatoes away name, the average young boy where they go buy Gary Nabo, the brand camp, the man where they produce in Gary, the impact of the one and they I predict them, and the prediction don't come to pass in terms of the prices of them goods and they, even the one they will produce as alone, let alone the imported ones the way they come. And exactly the hardship of the people in the face. So
right.
The issue of that for don't face them in a gradual process. And the best approach for don't use if you don't want for reduce expenditure, not to the subsidy on fuel, then for don't lift. Therefore, don't reduce the amount of fuel where government officials they consumed on a daily basis. It cost the government billions of dollars of the fuel chip they will give to government officials. They waste some money and they use it to go visit their girlfriend in a village.
So in other words, the government now they handle issues they are fine. Now, could they fall into major inflation, and the inflation also they cause the currency, rate for spiral out of control.
Absolutely.
Jesmed.
There are other variables, and
there are others. Certainly, I wish we can get time. I have to bring you back, at some point for crunch denting they are down, to the basic, for us, if you will. But just 2 more questions, and then we'll call it because she's just from Morocco, of course. This one is what are the reason why we can price with goods and services in our country based on, not based on, but the idea would they charge people in forex. In other words, they almost want charge we, for buy pepper and tomatoes in dollar. Although not that not the case, but you rent at some point to be a reading kind thing a day. We all team, almost like you physically get for pay the dollar. Now we local currency not get respect, it just depreciate in value, like I say, free fall. That the only thing, for let people and get some guarantee now for whole greenback. Why? Last stop for explain, because I don't seem to understand this myself.
Now 2 reasons. The first one, now the failure of the government itself. This it got to do with monetary policy issues for control and regulate the way we they use with currency locally. The second one Now, because the most important one, these are the economic reasons, you don't go blame the people for that. Now, because of the inflation rate. Inflation rate means every year, the value of millions, they reduce by the percentage of the inflation. So let us say the inflation rate, now the inflation rate is about 18%, but let us say that 20%. That means for every 1 million loans, where you keep in a bank, 180,000 loans they come up at them. 18%.
Yeah.
Every 1 million or every 1 billion loans where you keep in a bank, at the end of the year, 180 million loans they come up at them.
Wow.
Now, if that not the situation, would I go and keep your money in a bank?
No, I rather keep them on people. I rather keep on their materials or begin build, you vault them inside them place.
No. Even that not will solve the problem. You don't keep on the mattress because the same value, not only the bank they reduce and the economy they reduce. So you put on a mattress and the same way effective they get. In fact, even dangerous, somebody can book you, can't see you. But in a bank is much safer. But because of that, people then prefer for converting loans into dollars.
Okay.
So then keep them because the strength of the dollar is stable and the loans is weak. Now, how the government for control that? Again, it comes to the issue of demand and supply. So the demand and supply between the dollars as against the loans. If more people in the demand dollar, then the more people in the go buy dollar, which means the price of dollar they increase because more people in the can buy the small dollar with it. So the government need for enforce the law where say the legal tender inside salon is the loans. If somebody asks you for a pay and something, debt to parent to, they ask for dollars. You go ahead, sign the contract, you sign everything, you pay in loans. If you withdraw that contract today, you report them to the central bank. And they can arrest them, they lock your ass up. That's how the law is supposed to operate.
Okay.
So what they need to do is to force people and for respect with loans. So when you respect with loans, obviously the demand for the dollar will be reduced because that money we get in loans, you get in loans. The other aspect that because of the fact that the government will regulate how much money people they withdraw from the bank. In America,
yeah.
If you withdraw $3,000 cash, more than $3,000, by law, you need them to report you to the central bank, the Treasury Department.
Yeah.
The Treasury Department as an agency gets your investigation team, like FBI. You get your financial fraud unit, then get your police department. We own central banks supposed to get similar unit with an investigative team for financial fraud. Where they pass regulation say somebody not for withdraw a certain amount of cash from the bank because they add to corruption. Let's give example. Let's say somebody did a Minister of Finance, you don't give contract, 10 billion loans. The person say, pay me 1 billion commission. Now, because it's easy for you for go to a bank, you take 1 billion loans come on a bank, it's very easy for go pay the man 1 billion also.
Yeah.
But if law say you know for collect more than 1 billion loans from bank, you know for collect more than 500,000 loans from bank, cash. All you get for doing is say, but I'm not going to give cash, I'm not going to give cash, pass I'll give check. That man they go say, no, if you give me check, I'll go put it on my bank, then go see the money transaction. So it will reduce corruption too.
Right.
There are so many interconnected variables, but you need to get somebody when sit down, they think about their issue, they think how money they flow and how the flow of money in and out in transactions they affect the economy. They analyze policies along that.
Good one. Let me make
somebody with a professor almost,
let me make some progress.
Think about it here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jesmed, have we got like gold in huge quantity na salon? Because we know say we endow with boku tine.
Yes, we get gold. In fact, now that thing is the gold standard.
So that's exactly where my question seems to be going, because gold counts in effect as a hard currency these days, and people see us country then they stockpile, gold.
last tell you how this gold standard come into, they eliminate them. Now Richard Nixon inside America.
Yep.
They reach a point they're not able to pay American debt with an owe.
Yep.
Because for all your currency reserve then you get for converter into gold. In America, not being getting enough gold. But let's convert in currency into gold in reserve, into gold.
Yeah.
Forget the gold, then therefore go to African countries, then go buy the gold. So the money go to African countries. The other countries they will get gold reserves there naturally. Okay. American gold reserve, when at the California and the other side and the gold mine and we don't drain all the gold and commodity.
Yeah.
And then can impose the American dollar. How they do that? They use the World Bank and the IMF. That and then the way they tell them create the World Bank and the IMF, Europe been there under starvation. They been just come inside World War II. They all depend on America. Yeah. When they go boost the economy. So America control the system. He set up what and called the Bretton Woods Conference inside Connecticut. Now the one side they went and called Bretton Woods. And then they hold the conference in 1944.
So we end up with the SWIFT and banking system and the greenback where they control the world today. Jesmed, quick one again, just on the gold issue quickly. So there is a potential because we get gold in great quantity that if we get sound leader them and strong institutions, there is a potential for that we harness enough gold and begin for backup with currency with gold like any other country.
Thank you.
Okay.
And right now, it is still legal. It is still legal. Despite this system we don't do, it is still legal for that we use with loans. That thing we don't worry about dollars and pounds sterling anymore. The loans where government get, the extra loans where they get, you can buy gold with them, use them as a reserve for support with currency.
Right.
When Gaddafi want for do.
Yeah,
we kick against them.
Yeah, then of course they always kick against them because it will fall too much against them. The quick one, just one question on the current government. The education policy, the PAOPA, if you will like, quality and free education. How you see them? Because at some point where you said been in a campaign trail, it seemed like when listening to you, some of it is part of what is today's SLPP's manifesto in terms of the education policy. There's a difference though. But how do you see this one?
I tell you for free issue about free education.
Yeah.
I swear to the God who creates me and you. The SLPP now from me and Kande Kole Mukela and Tifa.
Okay, that's a tall order.
Because for years, me and Kande Kole Mukela nobody talk about free education. And maybe they go into depth in terms of how the free education support for them as alone. Now in the Paupanista,
okay.
Then they copy, they can see the thing they get traction.
Okay.
Now the free education is a very great idea for Salone for the human resource development. Unfortunately, it is poorly executed. First of all, they're not planned and right. Because that's such a capital intensive venture that there is no way you go able to forget a serious impact within 1 year. So if we been in the position, if we are party been in a power, we create a roadmap where they set them into phases, where they include budgets allocated for each phase, where they include infrastructure development against this in the school system, curriculum changes, the training of teachers, creating partnership with foreign governments them. Say, listen, England, before you bring money, can bring teachers and come 1 year. It train we train as them.
Technology, yeah, but then go say they've got all of this. And even if it were you, because just like you say, issues of this nature, which are huge, massive, project them of this kind, sure enough, go get their own, doubts, the ifs and the buts and the rest of it. But of course, 1 year is not really enough, but certainly people can achieve a lot inside a 1 year day. But this is not a 1 year project, not even this 5-year parliament. But of course, then get certain things then wrong, but then we'll say with time, they will get it right. What do you say to that?
They're getting a lot of things wrong, not only certain things, they're getting a lot of things wrong. For instance, why will you take $12 million and give to your sister to go to Ghana and dump that money into their Ghana economy to buy books? $4 million is enough to bring the plant, put the printing plant in Sierra Leone. Get a contract with the same Ghanaian company. Say, Ghana alone, we bring all, we get the plants, you can plant an area. Till from time we go build the resources, we will not need you again. But for now, the production process for the instance alone. If that generator would buy, put and we go run for 24 hours, we go do them. But we will spend $12 million to go put on the Ghana economy.
Okay.
And I wait no more for them to put money in their pocket.
Okay,
the second thing,
yeah.
You're not going to use this process here for let you use them as a way for employed people that will be not support you party yesterday. You divide the ministry into two. You get 2 ministers than one, 2 ministers than one, minister and the deputy.
But every government does that. They do reward the faithfuls. The Western world, they do that.
That's why our economy is in such short a sharp as it is.
Okay.
We therefore shy away from there. We need to get a nationalistic approach.
Right. So, Mr. Jesmed Suma, Foday Mami Suma, we'll call the full name. Yeah. Thanks again. On the campaign trail 2017-2018, you spoke of Dr. Kande Kole Yunkela almost as a demigod figure, if you like, if you will permit me. You are now aspiring to become the NGC leader. In other words, you're going to be contesting the leadership. Have you spoken to Dr. Kande Yunkela regarding this venture of yours?
Dr. Kande Yunkela, being that now more or less the de facto flag bearer of the party, is expected to be neutral. And on account of that, he is remaining neutral. So, because of ethics, and not personally, I refuse to discuss the issue with him. The only time where I mentioned the issue with him, now the same time where I call the current chairman of the party for tell them about my intent, just for accord them the respect. So just like I call the key people in the hierarchy of the party, including IJ, Ambassador Bangura, I try for call a name, forget him, but I call Dr. Spencer, I call Dr. Dennis Bright, and that same time I call Dr. Kande Yunkela too. Now I inform him about my intent, and I tell him the reason why.
Do you have his blessing?
They all give me their blessing. All of them. They say it's a democratic stuff. So, you know, then the best man win.
Mr. Jesmed Foday Mami Suma, thank you very much for appearing on the Then and Now and speaking to us on issues concerning our time, economics, and finance. And hopefully,
yes, if I try for schedule one the day we are off.
We will definitely
schedule one around that.
We will definitely schedule something on a time of your convenience. Definitely, I promise you, we will do that. It's been an inspiring interview and a well-attended one. Thank you so much again once more for calling.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And we'll speak again soon. You have a good one, brother, and good luck. Well, audience, thank you very much for listening to the Then and Now. On Sunday, where they come so, I promise you, say we will get a program what we call the Grand Dry. We all hear that phrase today, and some of us don't understand, and myself don't understand, and I won't understand that. So therefore, we get a program this Sunday where they come 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. GMT time. Okay, so we expect Una for turn up again. So we go support the channel. But in the meantime, don't forget the Grand Dry on Sunday. For those of Una who just join again, we've been just to talk to Mr. Jesmed Foday Mami Suma a political analyst, an economic powerhouse. I mean, just they crunch the numbers then to we, and they provide some insight for we in terms of we economics back now we country. So now thank you very much for listening. Don't forget for tuning, same place, same channel on the 14th of April 2019, this Sunday. Thank you very much, and on a good night. Good night. Thanks for listening. Join me on Sunday when we'll bring Tona the gun guy